Hello and welcome to Creepy Puppets Presents. I'm your creepy puppeteer, Tommy. So today is Election Day in the United States, 2020. It's about 12 o'clock right now and I voted. So back in one of the introduction videos to this channel, I mentioned that I was going to have one politics video. And I decided, since it's election day, today is the best day to have my one politics video. So I first came to political consciousness as a right libertarian. I mentioned in my religious journey video that I had become interested in LaVeyan Satanism around this time, and anyone who is familiar with Anton LaVey will know that he was not quiet about his politics. He was a right libertarian. And I was that through most of high school and most of college. I was even a member of the Libertarian Club. But toward the end of college, I came to realize that we have a problem in our society, and that problem is a lack of willingness to do collective action. And the kind of individualism that libertarianism celebrates is a major factor in that problem. So around that time, I started to become much more socially conservative. And it was during this period that I realized that social conservatism was inadequate for the task at hand. I mean, social conservatives had already lost the culture war, so we needed something stronger, something more authoritarian in order to enforce some kind of cultural commonality in order to foster the kind of collective action that we need to take as a society. And this is the main reason I wanted to make this video, because from 2014 through the beginning of 2016, I was a dedicated member of the alt-right. Now, I have an old YouTube channel that I had made videos on during that time, and I don't have it anymore. But if that channel ever resurfaces, and I've made statements on that video that are alt-righty, that was from a time in my life that I no longer identify with, and I renounce those views. It was a combination of several factors that led me to renouncing the alt-right. One of them was, in my study of the alt-right, I read Otto Strasser. If you're unaware, Otto Strasser was a high-ranking member of the Nazi Party. Before he moved leftward politically and had a major public falling out with Hitler. It's a long, complicated story I'm not going to go into now. But it was in that context that I saw views from the right that began to criticize capitalism. And around that same time, there comes Bernie Sanders criticizing capitalism in much the same way. And so I kind of realized that the criticism of capitalism was the way to go to bring about the kind of collective action we needed. And all of the alt-right figures that I followed, well, they all wanted to go with Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, I could tell back then, was clearly lying about his desire for collective action. He was just a neoliberal who was interested in his own glory. And if they couldn't see that, then clearly there was something wrong with the movement. So, having encountered Bernie Sanders, I decided to go and re-study critics of capitalism like Karl Marx that I'd been taught in college but completely ignored because, like, yeah, I know it for the test, but all of this is wrong. But, I read some of his work, but where I really had my eyes opened was when I started reading Lenin and Stalin. And so I'm a proud communist now. I'm a Marxist-Leninist. I guess you would call me a tanky. I'm still sympathetic to some of the third positionist views, like that Strasser and Sneakish put out. But again, for them, it's mostly tactical. So if you look at what Otto Strasser thought for tactics about how to bring about his vision, it was essentially to start off with an alliance of classes against the most extremely wealthy, and essentially it was what Juan Perón did in Argentina. So I'm only a Strasserist in the sense that I think Strasserist tactics can work. All that said, I, as a communist, voted for Donald Trump today. Why did I vote for Donald Trump today? Well, as much as it killed me to do that, it just comes down to competence. Uh, Trump might be halfway competent, but Biden is no way competent. The man's brains seem to be melting out of his ears. And even if you argue that he wouldn't really be in charge, that it would be Kamala Harris or someone else, well, that's as much of a subversion of the democratic will as whatever Trump plans to do in the next few days. So, how does this tie into the science medium tagline that we've been developing? Well, the premiere episode is going to be premiering in a little bit. It ended up being very long, nearly an hour and 15 minutes. But it's me dunking on every skeptical argument you've ever heard, so I think it'll be a lot of fun. But I did a traditional astrological ritual this morning because today is the day of Mars, the day of war, and I performed a traditional medieval wizardry ritual to protect Donald Trump and to help him ensure victory. The audio quality is terrible on this video. I don't know why, but I'm just going to talk you through what happens. So first you'll notice that I'm wearing a kind of red stole, and that's because red is the color of Mars. So I start off with a purification ritual. The Bebeloi ritual, the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram ritual, and aspersion with holy water, and censing with some sage incense. Hekos, hekos, este bibeloi. Hekos, hekos, este bibeloi. Yod, he, vav, he. Adonai. He, he. Allah. I cleanse thee today with holy fire. And I cleanse today by holy water. Then I light a candle, a red candle representing the color of Mars. Then I add some incense of Mars, in this case it was just some pepper, to the flames of the candle, and make my invocations to the patron archangel of Mars, who is Samael. I've also called for his steward, Ariel, because Mars today is in rulership in the house of Aries. And as I use a genuine wizard wand over there to summon the forces of Mars through me, you can see how I start to shake. O God, send us thy holy angel Samael, the ruler of the isthmy hour on the day of Mars, and send to us also his steward in his ruling throne in the house of Aries. Send to us Ariel. I offer the incense of Mars into the candle, into the fire. On this the hour of Mars and the day of Mars, I invoke the power of Mars. I invoke the power of Mars into this holy space. I invoke the power of Mars. I feel the power of Mars. It's present. Ugh. The power of Mars, the energy is around us. Holy angel Samael stands before me and above me, and the steward Ariel stands to my side. Then I make the request for the Martian energy to be with Trump today to protect him and to help him ensure his victory. I invoke the power of Mars. Give strength and victory to our President today, Election Day 2020. Bring him a swift victory. He is thine humble servant. He is the humble servant of power. And then, finally, I invite the spirits to depart and reverse the purification. Give this to him his day. The spirits are taking it. They're taking it. Praise, praise the Lord. Go, O holy angels, depart as brothers in the peace of our Lord God. With this I declare our ritual closed. Extinguish the candle of Mars. And consecrate again by fire. Herkos Ibeloi, Yod Hey, Vav Hey, Adonai, Hey, Adalah. Far, far from here be the fertile fame. Herkos, Esther, Ibeloi. This rite is closed. So the proper premiere episode of the Science Medium show will be sometime next week. But for now, take care and do your best to weather whatever comes next. Take care.